Hi traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. We're going to start with our morning analysis. So let me grab up my bias chart here. And let's go into the euro dollar. So, we are seeing some dollar weakness come in. And like I said, as expected, you can't have this big of a move without some sort of pullback or consolidative phase, and considering it is the holiday week, and we have it's obviously a you know big holiday week where liquidity is going to be very poor. There's a good chance, there was obviously a good chance that we could get a bounce back today. Now, I'm more interested in buying the dollar on a pullback than I am trying to short the dollar. Like I said, I picked the euro up below 106 yesterday, and I sold it, for like a 12 pip gain, and that was pretty much it. Just kind of, just did that. But I think that we could actually, maybe rally back to 107, maybe a little higher than that. I think it's entirely possible. Keep in mind that we have completed 161% extension of this is post-election move. All right, so you can see this low right here that was, at the end of October to the high following the election. We hit 161% extension. Also, we were basically at the channel bottom. We completed an AB equals CD move. There's a lot of reasons for us to have stopped where we stopped. Let me get rid of this really quick. I'm going to remove that. We also had, if you go across the bottom here, we have a nice little trend line that we are basically intersecting. Okay, so that takes us, basically to where we're at, and so I would assume that today dips below 106 are going to be bought. If we can get to 106, I think we're going to find a lot of support down there. I think you're going to have buyers that are like, okay, I'm glad we got down to 106 again. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Now, sellers should be present right here around 106.65, but I actually think we can break back above that. Personally, I think we can break back above here, maybe even get to 107. I think this is right here, I think quite possible for us to get to. All right, so I'm going to write down two levels of resistance. We got one at 106.65. And then if that can break, we might get up to 107. Okay, so 107.05. So let's look for, a move up there if we can get it. And I think this would be an area, if you can get it, that'll be an area to be on the short side of the euro, is maybe 107.05, if possible. We're still in a very bearish trend. Okay, still in a very bearish trend, but we're, probably going to bounce inside of this bearish trend. And like I said, I'm not so interested in buying the euro dollar, but if we get down to 106, I might pick it up just for a trade. I might. Okay. Let's go over to the cable. Okay, so here's the pound. Now, the pound found support at 123. I know we wrote down 123.25 last week. That's this breakout point right here, right? Whoops. Right here, 123.25, okay. We dipped as low as 123 last week. This is on Friday. We dipped as low as the 618 here is 123.05. Right, so that is support. Now, the question is, How high can we go here? Okay, we're pushing just, go ahead and get rid of this. Or not get rid of it, I'm going to just move it just slightly. Okay, we're pushing trendline resistance right now. Like right now. Okay. So if we can get above 124, what's the high here? 124.07. So if we can get above 124.10, we're going to squeeze a little further. Okay. 123.05 is going to be support. And we kind of make an assumption that we're going to break above 124.10. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm just saying we've got to make that assumption. All right. Um, since we're right up against resistance here. So if we can, the 23% retracement. Hold on, let me grab this really quick. $124.40. Okay. Just in case we do squeeze higher. 124.40. And we are in a range. This cable is. All right. Stretch a little bit. Okay. All right, let's go into the dollar Swiss. All right, so the dollar Swiss, we've had a really nice rally. Now we're consolidating. It's actually performing a lot better than the euro dollar is right now, which obviously suggests that the euro Swiss is going to be stronger. Euro Swiss, yeah, the euro Swiss is stronger this morning. Um, and I look at the dollar Swiss, and I'm going to write down two levels of support. This is very similar to this is exact opposite actually of the euro. High to low, except for making 161% extension, we've only made 127% extension. So 101.20 is key resistance right now. And personally, I'd like to see a pullback to parity. Okay, but right now support's going to be at 1.0060. That's right there, and then parity. So what I'd like to see here, and I don't know if we're going to get it, but this is what I'd like to see. So I'd like to see a pullback to parity over the next day or two. Okay, I would be interested in buying the Swissy there at parity. Oops. There you go. Okay. So those would be supports, and this is we're in a bullish trend. We're breaking higher. So now you want to buy pullbacks at that breakout point if you can get it. All right, let's go over to the dollar yen. Here's the dollar yen, and what's interesting about the dollar yen is I look at the dollar yen and I don't see any reason why it stopped where it did. Okay, I really, looking at it, it's like, okay, well, why do we stop there? Why do we stop at, 111? I have no idea. Um, um, Hold on one second. Okay. So like I said, looking at the dollar yen, it's like, okay, I don't know exactly why we stopped where we stopped, but we did. And the fact of the matter is we did. We're in between the 38% retracement and the 50% retracement. Um, and you know, like I said, I don't know any specific reason why we stopped there. We're like in between all sorts of fibs, but we did stop there. Um, so obviously we need to respect it. Now the question is, how far are we going to pull back? And we could, even as early as today, we could probably get a pullback below 110. I think it is possible. So support will be 109.70. Okay, that breakout point, you can see how it was respected there as well. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way down here. At least not today. Um, 109.70, and then resistance. I mean, we have to mark it down. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know why we stopped where we stopped, but we did. So 111.20 is resistance. And this is a bullish trend. Okay. All right. Here's the dollar Canadian. So the dollar Canadian's come under some pressure, and the dollar Canadian, out of all of the dollar pairs, has really been underperforming. That's one thing that I'm sure you guys, sorry, Monday morning yawns. It's one of the things that I'm sure you guys have noticed, and I know we've talked about over the last couple of sessions is, the Canadian currency has actually acted pretty well, and despite all of the data that we've seen, despite the you know general weakness of crude. I know crude's up today, but generally speaking, while crude's been below 50, we've seen the Canadian currency actually perform rather well. So there's this trendline support that comes into play, and I suspect if we break through here, I'm going to go ahead and just should we break through this support, that will open up a move towards 133, and I think that's entirely possible. Now, I'd be more interested in buying the dollar Canadian down at 133. All right, but notice how just even on this 4-hour chart, we're making lower highs. Okay, we haven't started making lower lows yet, but we are making lower highs. We could also, maybe we turn the corner here and we start consolidating. I'm not too sure, but this trend line seems to be pretty important. So that means this low today, whatever the low is, $134.34, so 134.35 is going to be really important support. Okay. Now, if you guys want, you can also try buying the dollar Canadian right here. But like I said, I think the Canadian currency, the single currency, has been acting relatively well in light of how the dollar has been acting in general. I think one of the things that people expected, including myself, is I expected to see more Canadian weakness with the Donald Trump win, and that we just haven't seen. Okay. Let's see. Resistance. All right, let's assume we bounced here. Rally back to 135.50. Should we get it? Would probably be a great area to be on the short side. Um, Now, the dollar Canadian is still bullish. It is underperforming, but it's still bullish. It's bullish while it's above 133, my opinion. Okay. So while we're above here, okay, while we're above here, I think it's bullish, but it does look like we could pull back. Hmm. All right, let's go into the Kiwi. Now, the Kiwi is actually performing pretty well right now. We don't have a bullish engulfing candle yet, but it actually looks pretty good. Exceeded 127% extension. We did close and break down territory. Now we are, obviously rallying back right now. I would love to have the opportunity to sell the Kiwi up here, like right here. I would really like to see it move, above 71 cents. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way up there, but I think that'd be great if we did. Um, so this previous support will probably be pretty big here. And if you think about it, so rally back to 70, 75, we'll probably find some sellers. Okay. And it's still bearish, even though we might make it up here like this. Sixty-nine, 69.83 or 69.85 should offer support. I mean, that's the trend low. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to put you on hold for a few minutes. When I come back, we'll do the Aussie, dollar index, peso, everything else. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks. Hi, guys and gals. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. Sorry about the wait, but thank you for your patience. So still, the market's not really doing a whole lot. I have a feeling this whole week is going to be kind of like what we're seeing right now, just real slow out there. Okay, let's go back into the charts. So here's the Aussie, and the Aussie is very similar to the Kiwi dollar. We're getting a bit of a bounce here, but the Aussie's a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit better or easier to read. Because we have some really solid support that was at 74.20, and we broke through it. So when we broke through that, it was like a real nice, really nice sell-off. The thing about the Aussie is I'm extremely bearish the Aussie right now. Now, I'm not going to sell it right at this moment in time, but I am extremely bearish, and the reason why I'm bearish is because of this this breakdown below, the false breakout up here, and that obviously created the massive reversal. It's been, a great trade. I've made a lot of money shorting the Aussie over the course of the last couple of weeks. I'm glad not to have a short position in it right now, but I am looking to sell a rally. So any rally back up towards 74.20, I think is going to find some sellers. I am looking towards the 74.20 level to establish a short position if we can get it up there. That's 50 pips away from where we're at right now. Okay, but I think it's doable. I do. Um, because but you can see we hit the 161% extension, then we're obviously bouncing. Um, we've been as low as 73. How much? 73.10. 73.10. So any move back down there, I would assume any move back down. What was Friday's close? 73.30. Any move back down towards 73.30. I'll write down 73.10, but I'll write down both. I think that you're going to find buyers down here. Okay, on any dip. So there's your dollar index. Again, 161% extension. We hit it. Right now is it's not a bearish engulfing. We might have a a well, it's really too early. Actually, I'm not going to make an assumption what we would see here, but I would expect any dip now down to 100.50, which was the breakout point, to be, it's this dotted line right here, 100.50 to be support, if we can get down there. And should we get to 100.50, I will start looking at every dollar pair, thinking that we might bounce. Now, I really don't even expect us to get there until tomorrow. Okay, I don't, but I think we're going to eventually make our way down there. I would assume the consensus believes that too. All right, 101.50 is going to be the resistance from yesterday or from Friday. And we are bullish. Just, near term, like for today, we're probably going to continue to see a pullback. Okay. Peso. Now, I did close out on my short U.S. dollar Mexican peso today. I'm done with it for now. I just wanted out of it. I'm not excited about the peso here. I think while we trade above 20, okay, or this 1990, it's still going to be very well supported. We basically came back to previous support, acted as current resistance. We obviously squeezed a little higher than that, so we hit the 50% retracement at 70.75. Okay, that will be resistance. 20.75. I say 70.75, I meant 20.75. 20.75. Support is going to be at 20. I mean, we might get down to 1990, but I would say 20 to be support. And it is still bullish. I was trading counter trend, very well aware of that. All right, let's take a look at the US dollar Norwegian krona. So the US dollar Norwegian krona, because of this move higher in crude, we've actually it's allowed it to pull back to the breakout point. Now this is supporting for now. You can see how well we respected it. So 852, I'm going to write down 852 to 860, but if we break 852, this would be a fairly bearish event for the US dollar Norwegian krona. Okay, 852, 860. Okay, If we break this, that should expose a much deeper correction in the U.S. dollar Swiss franc or U.S. dollar Norwegian krona. So we might actually get a pullback towards here, but we'll see. To me, it looks like it's gonna break. And I'm not short. I have no, like I said, I have no dollar exposure right now. All right, here's the U.S. dollar Swedish krona. Now the U.S. dollar Swedish krona. Notice where we're holding. Okay. Yes, we've made some little probes below there, but see those little probes. Hmm. I don't know. This is kind of like the yen. It's like I don't know why we're as high as we are, or I don't. Let me take that back. I don't know why we stopped where we did, but we did. Okay. Um, See, there's no like rule. I can't see any rhyme or reason why we stopped where we did. Hmm. Well, I'm gonna write down support as being at 920, then resistance can be right here at 928. Okay. Um, and both of these are bullish. Okay. But we might pull back. We might pull back in some of those. But I believe that still pullbacks are going to be minimal. So here's your bias chart. Your bias chart is finished for now, and just be really careful buying the dollar here. Actually, yeah, I'd just be really careful buying the dollar here. The euro has just pulled back a little bit.